Do you want to do something about this? If you say no, then don't listen. Don't listen. But if you do want to do something about this, I have done another pre-recorded video. I just got through talking to myself. I did. And I'm going to play it. First, I need to see if I can even be heard, because I've been having trouble with my audio. I'm going to come over here and see if it's happening, and then I'm going to play it. If you want to do something about it, then listen to it. If you don't want to do nothing about it, then don't listen to it. But it's going to play regardless. Okay, let me see. Okay, I got it. I'm good to go, you all. I am so good to go. So let me leave. I'm going to move myself out of the way. I'm going to push this button and get myself out of the way right here. I'm gone. How do you heal from a very hurtful period in your life? A period where you suffered a lot of emotional pain. You were traumatized. You were broken into pieces. Your spirit was crushed. How do you heal from that? I can take myself as an example. I've been through some pretty traumatic events in my life. I have. Where I was literally broken into, trampled upon, spoken down to at the most vulnerable time in my life. And I remember crying out to God, to Jesus. I do. And He intervened in one instance. He did. Well, He intervened in a lot of different ways, but this one instance that I'm talking about, it was within minutes. But still, the pain from that particular event that occurred in my life has literally scarred me. And when I think about scarred me, I think, well, it just scarred me. There's nothing there. There's nothing. I moved beyond it. I've healed. No, I have not healed. I haven't. And I really don't think that there is a scar there. Within me, it's an open wound, is what it is. I buried it deep within me, out of sight, out of mind, and I told myself, just forget about it, ignore it, move beyond it. But I didn't tell myself that I wasn't going to heal completely. I didn't, because the wound was still a great big gaping wound inside of me during the most vulnerable time of my life. I just covered it up in the dark crevices of my mind. I did. And I just got on with my life. I had to be strong. I had to be really strong, you all. I did. I did what I knew what to do. I kicked myself into survival gear. I did. I became a strong person while covering up that horrible incident that occurred in my life. And as I look back on it now, I can look back on it. I now realize, and I realize today, all these events that were very traumatizing to me, that literally broke me to pieces and crushed my spirit. I never healed completely because the wound was still there. I didn't treat it. I didn't. It just remained open. And since it remained open, it got infection in it. And when something else would occur, well, the hurt and the pain would continue to come back because I had an open wound within my being and my emotions that I never tended to. I just buried it, out of sight, out of mind. But it's there. It's open. It's got infected many times. Today I can tell you it's gotten infected. And I never tended to it like I should have. I just ignored it and lived life through the pain, even though I continually felt the pain when certain things happened, when I encountered certain things. It just got infected, and it hurt even more. But now I realize that it didn't heal, and I've got to make it heal. I've got to treat it. I've got to treat the hurt, the hurtful wound that is still open on the inside of me. I can't ignore it. Okay, I can't ignore it. You may find yourself in a situation, no, you never dealt with it. It's a big gaping wound. It's not a scar, it's a gaping wound. If it keeps coming back to the surface and it keeps getting infected, it's a big gaping wound and you need to tend to it. And it's not so easy, but since it's of the past, since we were talking about emotions from the past coming to the surface and they're very painful events, I think it's time to deal with those wounds from those painful events. It is. It's time to bring closure. It's time to clean the wound of the infection and close it up so that it can heal properly, so that part of you can heal properly. It doesn't do you no good to leave it open on the inside of you. It doesn't. Come on, look. I've done it. I've left gaping wounds open on the inside of my being. I guess I told myself, oh, it's just scars. No, it's not scars, because they kept getting infected time and time again. I was just only fooling myself because I wanted to be a big girl, big strong woman. Want to be that warrior woman that lives life even though it is painful. I lived it. I just kept going through the pain. But now, no more. I'm going to clean that wound. I'm going to get some antiseptic, which is LOVE. I'm going to cleanse that wound with love for my sake right here, so that Gina's spirit, that incident that hurt me so bad, so that part of me can have closure. I'm going to clean it with love, and then I'm going to close it with love, and it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone to where when something happens again, I don't have no open wound inside of me. I don't. Because I've dealt with it. I've acknowledged that it was an open wound, and I did something about it. I cleaned it with love, closed it up and got rid of it, so that no longer will it be able to cause me pain. It'll be gone. Be gone. Do you have wounds inside of you that you told yourself are scars, when in fact they're not scars, they're open wounds that keep getting infected? Because all it takes is certain events that are similar to the main event that caused the wound. It just takes those certain events to get that wound infected. And you feel the pain come right back. You're reminded of the pain because your wound is still open. You're wounded. It's time to deal with those wounds on the inside of you. It's time to cleanse them with love. God's love. Cleanse them and close them up for good. That way the past doesn't have to affect you anymore, because you're strong enough now to tend to those wounds, clean them up, dress them, close them up, and get rid of them. You're strong enough now. You weren't back then. You might have told yourself you were strong enough back then, that you kicked yourself in survival mode and you were strong, but you just buried it. You did. You weren't really strong enough to deal with it, and or you didn't have the mind space, the heart space to deal with it. I guess I didn't. Now that it's come to the surface again, now that other things comes to the surface, I realize they're not scars, they're open wounds. Because when certain events happen that are similar, I feel the pain again. And I don't want to feel the pain. I don't. You don't want to feel the pain. You don't. We're all in pain, whether we want to admit it or not. We have painful things that have happened to us. And a lot of us don't have just scars on the inside of us. We have open wounds that we have not tended to. They're still open and they're still getting infected. And it's still causing us pain. We've got to take care of them in order to move forward, so that we can bring closure inside of this being of ours. Move that out of the way so that something else can take its place. Now, this may sound strange, but if you can envision it, not just battle scars. No, we got open wounds. We're only fooling ourselves when you feel the pain over and over and over again. It was left open and unattended. You didn't deal with it. You've got to deal with the pain, because the pain was brought on by another infection that you feel. It seeped in. That's what happens. It seeps in. And there's the pain again. No, you all. Let's get some love. Let's take in love. There. Get it. Recognize it. Cleanse it with love. Close it up. And send it on its way. Send it on its way. There don't need to be any more triggers. No more infections in such said traumatic events in your life. There doesn't, because that's the past. That's the past. You don't live in the past. So it doesn't make sense to keep that pain, that open wound from the past there. Okay, it doesn't make sense, because you're allowing it to get infected. You never let yourself heal. You didn't. Now it's time to heal. It's time to heal from the pain. You can do it. I would encourage you to do it. Just visualize it. Visualize it, you all. Those aren't scars on the inside of you. Those are open wounds that you need to tend to. Because, let's face it, you're not that person anymore. I'm not that person anymore. I realize what open wounds do. They cause you pain. You need to close them up and get rid of them. Don't even leave them inside of you. Don't do it, you all. You're strong enough to face it now and deal with the past. Because if the past is coming up, it means you didn't deal with it properly. The hurt is still there. The pain is still there. Does that mean that you're going to forget it? No, it doesn't mean that you're going to forget it. But you're not going to allow it to affect you on the level that it was affecting you. Why? Because you've grown smarter. You've grown stronger. You've grown wiser. You've grown in love. Right there. You've grown. So, that's all I have to say. And I'm going to do this video as a recording. I'm going to run it on a live stream. I am. So may the peace that passes all understanding fill your heart this day. And hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Love yourself enough to do that for yourself. Cleanse that wound and or wounds inside of you. Cleanse them with love. Close them up with love and get rid of them. Because why? You're much stronger now and you're in a position to do it. Do it for you so that something else can occupy that space instead of the pain. Love you.